Hello, everybody. This won't be too long because I don't think there'll be many people watching. Hi, Mom. Uh, uh, Aston Villa, it's two losses in a row now, two 1-0 losses in a row. Lost to Manchester United last week and now lose away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Always a difficult place to go. And Wolves, in fairness, their recent home form hasn't been too bad. Well, it's been pretty good, actually. They beat Chelsea 1-0, beat Brentford 2-0, beat Crystal Palace 2-0, and now they're beating Aston Villa 1-0. So that's four home games in a row where they haven't conceded. Away from home, they're not quite at it. They lost 6-0 against Brighton last week, but you kind of expected that there would be a reaction to that. And there was, yeah, against Villa. I think the problem with this game was that the first 10 minutes, I think that Wolves exerted a lot of energy pressing Villa, so made it very uncomfortable for us, and we weren't really able to play it out. So we were quite disrupted in the first 10. And then kind of the game started perfectly for them because, they get that set piece goal from Tosi, and it's a great header, fantastic header. He gets away from Jacob Ramsey. I'd like to see it back a few times just to work out exactly what went on with the communication there. It felt like all the focus was on Dawson and McGinn, who'd had a bit of a set to. So it was like a kind of perfect start for Wolves, really, because then once they got that goal, they were able to just go into their very strong defensive shape. And it was then required, Villa were then required to break them down. And I think really the only player who looked like potentially doing that in the first half was Emi Buendia, who would come into the find gaps, get into the box, and try and get it in, but it didn't really work. We had one decent chance I can remember the first half where Watkins got a header in after a Ramsey cross. Mings pushing forward. Mings pushing forward was something that was quite different. But basically, it just kind of felt that Wolves, a lot of the time, were going into almost like a back six. So crossing into their very tall defenders wasn't really going to work. And you were kind of hoping for some intricacy to maybe open them up. It felt like after the first half, like Villa were, they sat back too much, Wolves, and they gave Villa too much of the ball. So it kind of felt a bit like more chances would come. But then the second half, it felt like it was almost too disrupted to really ever get any flow going, which is why 3 minutes injury time was extremely confusing, particularly given Ramsey felt like he was down for ages at the start of the second half. Lots of stoppages. Wolves are very canny at making fouls. Leon Bailey got through on one occasion, then Totti brought him down. And it happened numerous times. Wolves would then, pick the ball up at smart moments. It was kind of like playing. It's kind of cynical, but it was smart, and it just disrupted Villa. And I don't think really any of our players really stepped up today, other than maybe Buendia in the first half. But then after that, it just felt like nobody really was able to take control of the game. Moreno wasn't really at it today, as he has been recently. Ramsey, I thought, wasn't quite at it. I just don't feel like anybody was really at it other than Buendia in the first half. I thought Traore, particularly second half, was poor. Traore first half was poor, and then Leon Bailey coming on second half. There were moments or flashes of his talent. Again, what sums Bailey up is that in the last few minutes, there was a header away and Bailey was the last man. You're thinking just make a simple pass to Emi Martinez so he can send it back forward. And honestly, in my head, I thought, I'm not sure I think he's going to underhit this. I just know what he's, and he underhits it. He actually underhits it. I couldn't believe that. And then Martinez managed to get it back, but then there was a foul, and then Wolves just dominated the ball for the next 2 or 3 minutes. And I think that's what you're looking at with the consistency when it comes to Bailey at times. And I just think that right midfield area where Traore and Bailey occupy, it's going to be somewhere that will be looked at this summer. It's a frustrating loss. It just felt like no one was really at it, as I said, other than Buendia in the first half. You look at the Premier League table now, Tottenham won today, Wolves with Brighton with 3 games in hand on us. So Villa now down to 8th. Feels like Europe might be slipping away now. Big games, though. You've still got Tottenham to come at home. That's a game Villa can win. Brighton at home as well. Another one Villa can win. Just got to get back at it as quick as possible, really. Maybe it's just a bit of a natural leveling out. Is that the way to describe it? After such a great run, maybe seeing the I don't want to say limitations of the squad, but maybe not quite the squad depth that's there. They've exerted a lot of energy and excellence to get Villa back into the top half. And I said all along that a top half finish for Villa this season would be a real step forward and something for Emery to build on. Not making Europe would be disappointing, but we can still do it. So hopefully Villa will get back at it soon. I just think that today it was very difficult to break Wolves down, as teams have found out recently in Molineux. 6 at the back almost, and very compact in the middle. So just finding those intricate balls was difficult, and then going for the option of crossing it in was difficult with the height of their players. But, Villa did have chances. Tyrone Mings had a great chance. You kind of, he should have taken it, but you kind of wish it was more of a Watkins coming in on that, or a Buendia maybe. He'd probably back them to score over that. Other than that, really, just a disappointing display all round, really, and just got a tough place to go in it, Wolves. So just got to get back at it soon, and hopefully, I believe these players will. They've all got good attitudes. So, we lost 3 in a row back in February. We've lost 2 in a row now. So need to ensure that, they showed great resilience to bounce back from that before. Hopefully these players can do that. A few players coming back now. The squad's looking a bit stronger again. So, just got to go for it in the last 3 games of this season. So disappointing today, but, as the cliche goes, we go again. Up the Villa.